What is up, Cowboys Nation? Boy, Mike Tag here. Hopefully you guys are doing well. You had a nice weekend, get things rolling. Obviously, we're going to get in the game on Monday. It was a hell of a game, man. I got to give a lot of props and a lot of love to Indiana. It was a hard-fought game. Canes did their thing, but it just wasn't good enough, and we'll get into it. I know Uncle Cheech is fresh back from Miami, so definitely get his insight on it. So make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, share, get that thing rolling. I think Jimmy finally late. Fired.
Hey, so wait a minute. I got a can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a bone to pick with. I know you're my boss here on the podcast, but last night when we last left off, you said I got some family stuff going on. I think we'll be on. I said, well, keep me posted. I'm sitting there having dinner a half hour ago, and I say, oh shit!
You didn't see the 7 o'clock post. You didn't see that. You don't get a post. You don't have alerts set up on your. You don't have alerts set up on your YouTube channel.
No, I do.
When we're scheduling shows, you don't have.
I do. I do. I'm at dinner and I see at 6:30 come across
4 hours ago.
So and well, I didn't get that
on time. Chris is here on time.
What I gotta do? I gotta rush through my meal. I'm inconvenienced. I gotta go upstairs. I had to brush my teeth, so I got stuff in my teeth, making everybody offended.
I told you that I was gonna go. I got it. My wife's birthday. Happy birthday to Miss Tag. Happy birthday to her. We went to dinner. Took her at a beautiful Italian restaurant. She had the linguine with white clam sauce, and we both had a Coke with no ice because I was coming on to the show. So, yeah, alerts work. Thank you, Cuts. Cuts has got my back. Cuts has got my back.
Hey, Cuts, the same guy who killed General Hospital for me last week, who gave me a spoiler when I was 4 behind.
Well, he didn't know you. You're gallivanting around the world, living the high life with champagne and caviar. He didn't know what kind of lifestyle you live. But so yeah, Jimmy. First of all, we're gonna get into the show. So we're gonna talk some national championship game. I don't hide from nobody. I will talk about it. It was a phenomenal game. So we'll get into that. Coaching carousel. I saw you guys get coach. We're going to get into the coaching carousel. Prediction the Cave made. Bill's coach out of there, just like we had said would happen. So that we'll get into. And then our man Trayvon Diggs, he was short-lived stint in Green Bay, gets released. So the season's going, but also playoffs. We got to get into some of the championship games. Bo Nix, heartbreaking for the Broncos. But I'm going to tell you why I think the Broncos are going to win. With their backup. They're going to the Super Bowl with their backup quarterback. I'll tell you why. So you got to stay tuned for all of that information, all that stuff that we're going to give you. We're going to be dropping knowledge. But so, Jimmy, first of all, before we get into the championship game, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Same old crap, just hanging out, getting a bunch of snow up here. So I was out snowshoeing this weekend, and the kids and I, as the kids get older, you still like doing the old school stuff. We're out playing the snow this weekend.
I saw you. You had the skis on. You had all you had the gloves. You had the respirators, the whole 9 yards.
All the gear. It was a good time. It's right. So
got his gear on. Get his gear on.
All the gear.
Yeah, definitely, Star. It was. And look. A couple things I want to say, and I want to say one thing first, and it's not related. It's related to the championship, but it was a situation that happened after the game, and I tweeted it out, and I did my due diligence, got 2 sources, and one of the coaches for Miami who was on the national championship team, he confirmed what happened. So a lot of people, and it went viral, saw Mark Fletcher take a swing at a player after the game. And a lot of people were calling them thugs and calling them this and that. And, when you do your research and you understand kind of what happened and Mark Fletcher, the character, and going back to him, he's the same kid last year that recruited Damian Martinez to come to Miami, who was a running back who was going to take his spot and did take his spot because he thought it was best for the team. Him and his father, very close relationship. They went to all the Miami games. He grew up down there, this and that. Well, he passed away last year, a few days before the Florida State game. And so it's, they did a lot of media coverage over, especially with the championship game. He texts his father. He still has his number, refuses to delete it. Yeah. So he texts his father before the game all the time. And this scumbag at Indiana decided to use that to either get into his head or screw with him, and was saying derogatory things about his father. I grew up Jimmy, you and I grew up down south, so I'm pretty sure what tipped the scale for him was when he probably said, and I'm pretty sure accurate, is why don't you go text your dad and tell him that you lost or something like that. I guarantee you it's something to do with that. Yeah. So he did take a swing at him, and he had to get held back. And there's only so much that someone can take, and there's certain things that become off limits. And I think family, I think kids, I think your parents. Yeah. This kid was 20 years old, 21 years old, and he loses his father unexpectedly. He didn't have like cancer. He had a heart attack. And died unexpectedly. He got the message from his mom when he was at practice. So put that into context. And then you see him seeking out Mendoza, who they played together down in South Florida. Yeah. And he waited to the end to find him. This isn't a kid who's a troublemaker. This is a great kid. And it's unfortunate the media kind of spun it the way they wanted to. And then some of these people in social media that want to crucify him and want to hold court, put yourself in his shoes. I would have done probably just as much, if not worse. So I just want to make sure that's clear, because that's been getting out there. And it wasn't him being a sore loser. It wasn't anything like that. It was a person who kind of takes it a little bit across the line, which never should happen.
You don't do, like you said, first of all, family's off limits, but that's way, way off limits. And you know what? I work with a kid who was from Indianapolis, big Indiana fan, not a bandwagon. He's been and he even said this morning, I said, what was up with that? And he said, he said what you were saying, that dude never, like, he's a good kid. And he said something obviously bad was said. So even an Indiana fan admitted it. That's just awful. What the hell? Look, the other dude's a kid too, but better. If you're brought up right, better. You don't talk about shit like that. Somebody's dead parent of all things. Hell out of here. So I'm glad you brought that up. And I'm glad I saw it on X that you had posted. I'm glad you did, because you don't want his character screwed with over something like that, because we'd all react the same way.
No, absolutely. And it's easy for us when we're 50 and 45 and to say, hey, you know what? I wouldn't have done that. Yeah, we're older now, but put yourself as an 18 to 22-year-old kid. Yeah. You lose your parent unexpectedly, and then that happens. I mean, I think, say like one guy said, sometimes things you say require a chin check. So that's just what happened. And like a coward, he went backpedaling and go looking for his friend, trying to call his teammates for help, but he didn't get any.
Hiding behind his teammates.
Absolutely. So let me see here. I gotta duck down because I gotta figure. Whoop, I'm lost. Where are you at? I have my camera in front of me. You see, I'm not. I don't do good with this. Oh, here it is. I think this is it, because we got Uncle Cheech. Uncle Cheech is here, he's fresh back from Miami. I know, absolutely disappointing. I saw you on the pregame on ESPN. Did you give Ed Reed that big Miami oversized hat? Because you were wearing it, and then I didn't see it anymore. I saw it on Ed Reed's head. So I don't know what was going on. But first of all, what was the vibe like at the game? And then give us your opinions of kind of what unfolded, and we'll get into it.
Well, it was pandemonium. Beautiful. I expected to win, but I think I talked to you about this. We played for the championship 5 times or 10 times, I'm sorry, and we've never won in an even number year. Lost in 86, lost in 92, lost in 94, lost in 2002, and now we're just lost again in 26.
Yeah.
It's not a jinx. It's not a coincidence. It's a fact. A fact.
Wow.
Period.
Well, one thing that we talked about, Uncle Cheech and Jimmy, I know you watched some of it too, but when we broke down the game and get your thoughts, and even you guys in the chat, what did we say was going to get Miami's Achilles heel? If they're going to get themselves in trouble, it's being undisciplined. The only scores that Indiana had was drives that were extended by undisciplined penalties, offsides, face mask, pass interference. Those are the things that Miami couldn't overcome, because Indiana is a great football team. They're going to make you pay for that, and they did. And I think that was a turning point. Plus, I don't know what 87 was doing. Their tight end that didn't block. I don't know if it's the punter. My son and I were talking to dinner. I don't know why they got to run all over the place before they punt it. Just sit back there and punt the goddamn ball like everybody else does. Is that too much to ask?
Well, that did us in right there, the block punt and the score.
Yeah.
And the missed field goal. You take away that, add the field goal, we win the game.
Yeah. But
whatever.
What do you say, Jimmy?
No, but I want to ask you, so that at the end of toward the end of the half, and I know some of the announcers are saying, what are they kicking a field goal? Why wouldn't they kick a field goal? Now that was kind of a turning point. Now they're up 10-0. Indiana getting the ball in the beginning of the second half. Would you guys think? You guys know I'm not the biggest, college follower, but at the end of the day, I thought it was the right move. Dude almost nailed that field goal.
No, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with it. And Frankie, I see you just checked in, man. What's up, brother? I know it's a big time zone change for you. Appreciate you popping in to say hey. I mean, it was a 50-yarder. He had plenty of leg for it. It drifted. I mean, I didn't have a huge issue with that because you got to get some points on the board. I mean, you had to get points on the board, somehow. First points are always the hardest.
Oh, and I was thinking the same thing. I don't know why the announcers are sitting there saying, "Oh, what a terrible call." Yeah. Give me a break. If he nails it, all of a sudden, Chris Bell's a genius.
You listen to them jerks. They don't know what the hell is going on half the time.
Yeah.
It was just the block punt really did us in. I don't know if the guy was sleeping on the job or he missed his assignment. What happened? But can't let that happen. My hat's off to Indiana. They played
absolutely
a hell of a game, a good game. Discipline, they deserve to win.
No, Mendoza, Miami beat the hell out of him. I mean, that was probably the worst beating he got. He kept getting up and he kept going at it, and he was resilient. And he is going to be a kid that at the next level that's going to be interesting to see how he progresses. The thought is he's going to, Brady was there. I think the owner of the Raiders were there. He didn't have a great game statistically, but he fought, and Miami's defense is legit. I mean, we try to tell these guys, Miami's defense sacked him. The one lineman hadn't given up a sack. Bain obviously gets a sack against him. It was the only sack that guy gave up in the whole season. That run was historic. I mean,
it was incredible.
It pains me to say it as a fan, but as a football fan and just a fan of great competition, that Mendoza run, ballsy call by the coach. Got to give him that. But Mendoza just absolutely refused to go down, and that was just unbelievable.
Yep. Good game. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy losing.
No.
But I enjoyed the game.
No.
I'd much rather we're going to lose. I'd rather lose to them than them big mouth Notre Dame. They put their coach on ESPN too.
Oh, I know.
That's a disgusting display.
Well, let me another irony. A couple things happened, Jimmy. I don't know if you know some of it's just very odd, like how divine intervention and things happen. So the shitty call that the Canes got to lose against Ohio State, the pass interference, was Glenn Sharp. His nephew was the Indiana cornerback that sealed the deal with the interception that beat Miami.
It's crazy.
I mean, how does that happen?
It was only 6 degrees of separation.
I mean, how does that happen? But let me ask you this, and Jimmy, I know you're not college, but just get your thoughts on it as well, just from a competitive standpoint, what you think. It's hard. Like I told my son and I were talking, and he's distraught over it. I mean, he was, he really wanted. I wanted this win probably more for him than I did for me, but I'm an old school. And I think about it. I tried to put it in perspective for him. And Uncle Cheech, you may appreciate this, but Miami, if you were going to tell us in the season, you're going to beat Notre Dame, you're going to beat Florida, you're going to beat Florida State, and you're going to beat Ohio State in the same year, that's win. That's all day, every day. I mean, just because of the rivalry of it. And then in the playoffs, you're asked to win 4 games. And, they win the Cotton Bowl. They win the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, those used to be big deals. And, they come up runner-up in the national championship game. But it's like I'd leave the season feeling pretty damn good. Am I crazy?
No, absolutely not. I feel good. I'm looking forward to the future. I think he's got something going now. I mean, we've all criticized him, Cristobal, but like I said, I was the biggest critic of Butch. I ate my words at the end.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's on the same path. I know the things are a little different now with the paying the players and stuff, but I think he's got things going down there. We're going to bring in some good players, and I think we're going to be competitive from here on out as long as he's there.
Yeah.
I
You know
think.
what they got to do? They got to win that alumni game, get that alumni money, right? But I'll tell you though, it's right. That's right. But no, you know what it is too. Now you guys legitimately, you guys are on top again. The U's on top, and nobody can just dispute that. So now you're going to have more recruit. You know how it works. It's like a cycle, right? You're going to have a lot of the recruits going at her. I know at the NIL it's different, but no, you guys are.
Jimmy, I know the mistake I made.
South Florida players.
Yeah.
Half Indiana's team was from South Florida.
Yeah.
I think there was 5 kids from one high school that were in that game. Let me tell you this, Jimmy. I gotta apologize. I'm sitting there. I was trying to get tickets from Uncle Cheech. I mean, it was going to be hard. There's no way he could come through. I mean, tickets are crazy. I totally forgot you were alumni.
That's right.
Strings.
You know what? You could have hit me up. Like I pulled a whole 1/3 of a semester at Okay. I didn't get to keep my scholarship, but I pulled a whole 1/3 of a semester. So you know what? You should have hit me up.
I made an amateur mistake.
You made an amateur mistake. I would have hooked you up.
Yeah, but no, it was a great game, and as a Miami fan, I just say hats off to Indiana. It was a great season for them. They deserve the better team won that day, and that's all that matters. And they deserve the national championship.
They put the physical team as we are, they didn't back off one bit. We didn't push them around like we did Ohio State and Texas A&M. We pushed them around.
Yeah,
and Mississippi too.
Yeah,
this team.
It was good. It definitely being on top is good. It was good. It was a very competitive defensive battle. I mean, you looked at both teams. The quarterbacks played okay. Neither one played great. If you were to tell me Mendoza wasn't going to throw for a touchdown, they'd average 2.9 yards a carry. I would take that all day, every day, and think the Canes would win. But their defense had something to do with it, and it was timely plays. So give credit where credit is due. But let's get into the NFL. Hey, April, let's get into the NFL playoffs. We obviously have Denver, New England. Denver losing their quarterback, so they got the backup. And then, of course, you got Seattle that absolutely I felt from a man, Camo, absolutely steamrolled the 49ers. And then you had the Rams in probably one of the greatest playoff games I can remember in recent memory with the Bears and pulling that one off and just unbelievable comeback and all this and that. So I want to get into the Broncos last, Uncle Cheech, with your prediction. I want to get you and Jimmy involved in that one because I got some thoughts and I don't know if we didn't rehearse this show, so I don't know what Jimmy's thinking or what you're thinking. But let's knock out the Seattle Rams game. Let me know. What are you thinking? And then, Jimmy, I want you to follow up. Or, Jimmy, you start. Jimmy, I want you to start. And then, Uncle Cheech, you can give your opinion and give us your thoughts on the line and everything. Jimmy, give us your thoughts on that game.
I think Seattle's too tough. They're too brutal. And you know what? The Rams, I said this a few weeks ago, that was a hell of a game they played on the road in the cold and some theatrics at the end with Caleb. But at the end of the day, man, again, I think the Rams peaked early. I think Seattle's going to kick their ass.
Yeah.
No. I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be similar to the game against San Francisco.
Yeah. I think the only thing that just, if you want to hold out hope, is it's a divisional opponent. And sometimes weird things happen with divisional opponents if you want to hold out hope. But I agree with you, Jimmy, 100%. I think Seattle's is going to be too much for them at home. Uncle Cheech, what do you
I beg to differ with both of you.
Oh, well, that's why you're a Vegas Insider.
They played each other twice this year. First game was decided by 2 points. Second game was decided by 1 point. They both have a win. if it's going to come down to a last drive, or I'd rather have the Rams quarterback any day. Yeah. So I'm going to take the Rams getting 2.5.
Wow. Now, what do you think outside the line, if you're to do money line, I mean, who do you think's going to win the game?
I just told you who's going to win the game, the Rams.
Yeah, I'm just saying. All right, so you said 2.5. You're going to take the Rams.
I think they're going to win outright. Outright.
All right. Good. Well, I think it's Seattle. I'm with Jimmy. Jimmy and I are NFC guys. I know you're a businessman, so it's a little bit different. You're not thinking with your mind.
Well,
your
they beat the hell out of a depleted team. How many injuries did the 49ers have? Plus, they were on the road. Rams are healthy. They can play that nasty weather up there a little bit, but only a couple points, like I said, separated these games. Both of them.
I mean, valid points, Jimmy. I mean, he's making valid points, Jimmy. You're not going to argue with him, are you?
I don't argue with Uncle Cheech.
For
valid reasons, I don't argue with Uncle Cheech.
Well, all right. Let's get into the AFC, because this is an interesting one, because I like Sean Payton, and I didn't have my facts straight. I should have double-checked my notes, and the injury happened on that quarterback, whatever the hell that was. I thought it happened on the Bosa play because he stayed in the game. So I assumed it was that last play, and then they sat on the rest. So one, just bad decision. I don't understand what he was thinking doing that. You have your running back run the ball. You pretty much got the game locked in. But New England, I'm not impressed with. I thought that was a sloppy. I thought they looked terrible. I mean, Houston looked worse. The way Denver plays, they don't rely on their quarterback so much. It's defense, running the football, don't turn the ball over. And, their backup is a veteran. He's been in the league for a while. He was in New England under Brady. He's bounced around a little bit. I just have a feeling Denver beats New England at home. I think Denver is going to beat them, and you're going to get to the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. Jimmy, before Uncle Cheech yells at me if it says I'm wrong, Jimmy, what do you think of this game?
You know what? I think it's New England. I think that backup quarterback is if it's Bo Nix, it's all day long Denver, all day long, obviously. But I think with the quarterback situation, it's New England. And I agree with you. New England won a sloppy game at home, and you wondered at times. I mean, they let the Texans back in that game, but at the end of the day, I can't see Denver winning with a backup.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with you, Mike.
Oh, look at this.
I'm going to take Denver in the 5.5. I think Sean Payton is too good of a coach to put backup quarterback. I had some inside information from a few people I know around the organization. They have all the faith in the world in this guy. All the faith in the world, and Sean Payton is too good of a coach to put him in a bad position. I think their defense is going to be too much for him. On top of the altitude, and I think Denver wins this game. Now, how they're going to do if they get any farther, I don't know. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl.
I think they get to the show.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm getting 5.5. I'm not going to say outright, but I'll take the 5.5 now.
No.
If I was going to bet on it.
Yeah, and I just to give you some love, I saw my main man Doug. He said he'd rather have the Rams coach as well, Uncle Cheech. A lot of people are siding with you.
Absolutely. He'd been there, done that. So
a lot of people are siding with you on the Rams. So Jimmy and I look foolish right about now.
Yep.
We are getting a lot of people with the Patriots. I think Sean Payton's probably, if he wins a Super Bowl Hall of Fame, but I think he might get there. What he's done in Denver has been
incredible.
Really impressive in a short period of time. Makes you kind of jealous because Dallas fans, we always thought one day we'd get Sean Payton, and the timing was never there. He's done just a beautiful job in Denver, dealing with the cap and dealing with what they had to do with Russell Wilson.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
You gotta give credit where credit's due. The New England with the turnovers, I just can't get over that. They've turned the ball over a lot in both games. Both their playoff games. And Jimmy Johnson always said turnovers in the playoffs they're gonna kill you. And you think of how bad Houston played with their turnovers, and they were still in the game. I mean, it still was like a close game. It's crazy.
They better really take a close look at their quarterback situation. I like C.J. Stroud. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he can get him any farther the way he's played the last 2 years.
Yeah, I was wrong on him.
Look at that. Their defense is good, but they only can, if they're out of the field all the time, they can only hold on so long.
And that's the thing.
And I look like a fool.
No, me too. Like season before last, I mean, that is the future, but he's mediocre right now. Hate to say, because like I said, I like him a lot too.
Well, and we got this question in the chat, and I'll give Steve because I've spoken on this. Who wants Seattle to lose because of Tank? I will say this about Tank. I want him to win. And the reason I want him to win, I think he ended up getting the last laugh in Dallas. If you remember, there was a beef between him and Micah Parsons, and a lot of people thought it was Tank. And Tank called him out, said he's, should be more worried about, football and this and that. And they got a heated exchange on the sideline. And Tank got kind of sent packing. They didn't want to pay him. I'm happy for him. He didn't leave with any hard feelings to me. Maybe with others he did, but I got no ill will towards Tank Lawrence leaving. He wasn't asked to stay. Wasn't his decision.
Oh.
And I think he proved to be right with Parsons and Diggs in the locker room. I think maybe he was onto something that that we didn't see as fans. So anyway, any opinion?
Yeah, there was no drama. I agree with you. You guys, there's no hate for him, right? Yeah. So I agree with you. And you don't want to hold a grudge for no reason.
Yeah. And just real quick, thanks, Scarlett. I got a new phone. And I just got my phone up, and I saw you sent me a message. I apologize, I didn't see it, but I definitely do appreciate it. It was a great game, and it was one of those games that you hate. It was sad to see that one team had to lose. So, but anyway. And so, Uncle Cheech, I'm going to leave you with this. I don't like to get personal, but I may need you. If you guys know, there's someone who's been a regular in the chat who's kind of turned into a troll, and he had to get expurgated from there. And there's a couple of reasons why, because I don't want people to think that I just block people or whatever. But it got to be a little bit too much. And the icing on the cake was he somehow, and I didn't know you could do this on Instagram, got my phone and called me late last night after the game. Now, I didn't see it, so I didn't answer it. I didn't see it till the next day, but I wish I would have seen it because I really probably would have picked up. But, we talk about lines being crossed, and he crossed that line. So he's gone, and if he comes under another name, he'll be gone again. But any of you guys that interact with him on social media, that's if he has anything to say about the reason, that's what happened. So I was going to tell you that before, Jimmy. But
that's crazy, man.
Call you up at your home
just to break your balls.
Yeah, for whatever he was going to do. I don't know.
Well, the guy's got real issues. We got a place in Florida for people like him, Chattahoochee.
Yeah, well, that's yeah. I'm all for. And the thing is, I'm all for good ribbing and let's shit talk and let's have a good time. But when it becomes troll and it becomes I say up, you say down, I say it's sunny, you say it's raining. It gets to be counterproductive to what the show is. So and what
sounds
we
like my
do.
ex-wife.
Yeah. Well, that's
it's rain, it's black, it's blue, it's green. Yeah, same thing.
I'm not going to comment on that. But
no
anyway,
comment.
You know what though? You guys just that way you know the whole story.
Maybe he was calling you up. He wanted you to talk dirty to him.
Maybe I ain't gonna happen there. Would have been dirty. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of the deal there. But Uncle Cheech, we definitely appreciate it. It was a great season for college football. I mean, when you see Miami and you see Indiana in the championship game, it just really shows that the college game is changing. My son at dinner tonight, he told me, Dad, he goes, I hate to say this. I said, I think I'm becoming more of a college fan than a pro fan. And I mean, the way they set up the playoffs, it's hard to argue.
The way that I hate to get off the subject, but I went on CBS Sports. They already got the next year's preseason, what they figure the rankings.
Yeah.
Now, of course, same old teams. Ohio State number 1, Texas number 2. They don't learn.
No.
Where the teams they picked last year, the first 5 or 6, they're all gone.
Yeah. That's why they shouldn't have preseason. That's why I don't think they have rankings. I mean, they had Miami 10. You don't even know who they're going to have. You don't even know what these guys have. You don't.
13. They got us.
Oh, is it 13? I know the odds are plus
now,
2,000
for next year.
Yeah.
For next year, 13.
Wow.
I don't think so.
Yeah. No.
It's all posturing.
Well, it was a great season. We will have you on Super Bowl, right? We got the next stop is the Super Bowl, so we will have you on for our Super Bowl extravaganza show that we'll have and breaking everything down and getting your inside information. But if anything else drops, I know you'll be popping in and getting all that stuff going. So, but again, appreciate it, and we're going to get a recap and see how hopefully you got 2 winners this week, and it would make for an interesting Super Bowl, that's for sure. So
looking forward
appreciate
to
it.
Looking forward to it, guys.
All righty.
Grazie.
Is this? Are they opening the season? Ohio State, Indiana in September? Wow.
Oh, I don't know.
Wow.
They announced that already.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting. Well, no, the schedule's out. So, but yeah.
Next year's college schedule's out already.
Yeah. Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, I don't know these things.
Yeah, Miami plays Notre Dame November 7th. I know that. So, yeah. All right, Uncle Cheech. We will see you next week.
All right, guys. Take care.
Buonasera.
It's always good. Uncle Cheech had a great time at the let me zoom in and zoom out here. I got to get my kid. Look at that face. He had a great time in Miami. It was funny. I don't know if he had that hat on. He had that Miami, the big head hats, the ones that, he had it on. The green one, and all of a sudden I saw Ed Reed with it on. So I don't know.
And it stayed on his head all night long.
Stayed on his head all night long. The best is what's hard to do with those hats. And I see the digs. We'll get into some digs. So we're gonna get into some of that. Ed Reed is consoling Malachi Tony after the game, and he has the hat on. And it's just, isn't it hard? Like it would be hard for me to take someone serious, offering me words of wisdom, getting me pumped up with the big hat. It's almost like that Saturday Night Live when they had who was it? The guy who did Burt Reynolds. He had the funny hat. It's a big hat.
I don't remember that one. You guys got to help us in the chat.
He passed away. He was God, I can't remember his name. He was funny, but anyway.
No, but you know what though? You're right. It's just the optics of it, right?
Yeah. It's just hard. Like I'd be looking up and say, do I take you serious with that hat on? What am I going to do?
And I got to say, Garland, I appreciate it. We're hype. And, as far as, and you expect this, the Falcons don't have a toxic fan base, but, with our history and especially blowing the Super Bowl and just some of the ups and downs, we're not toxic, but there's so many naysayers. And when we hired Stefanski, all over the friggin' social media and the Falcons, Falcons fans pissed off this and that. Look at there's a new sheriff in town. Matt Ryan said, I didn't bring home the hardware when I was a quarterback here. I definitely want to bring it home as the head of football operations. So I'm trusting in him. Hey, we kept Ulbrich on as defensive coordinator, which we were talking about this last week.
Yeah, Dallas was trying to get him.
Yep,
Dallas wanted to interview him.
Yes. So I'm really psyched about that, and I appreciate Jerry Reed.
No, it wasn't Jerry Reed. He's from Smokey and the Bandit.
That's Smokey and the Bandit.
It's a comedian from like the 90s. He was funny. He was on Saturday Night Live. I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know if anyone saw the Michael Irvin Saturday Night Live skit. That was absolutely hilarious. You got to watch that. You can catch it on YouTube.
And Jerry Reed is Mr. Coach Boyu on The Water Boy.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah. Absolutely. And as you guys are rolling into, you guys have been rolling in as we're doing the show. Make sure you hit that like, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe. I was telling Jimmy or whoever earlier. We're almost like 4,200 or 5,200 subscribers. We gained like 600 in the last 2 weeks, which is really cool, and it's a testament to you guys supporting the channel. So we definitely do appreciate it. And looking at the coaching carousel, And, Stefanski, I mean, he was he was 2-time, coach of the year. I mean, he's in Cleveland. It's hard to you can only do so much in Cleveland. But he does have a track record, but it's one of those where he's going to have to get it done. Like when you have that next stop, we talked about McDaniel, and if he ends up somewhere, you better make sure wherever you go, it's a good situation. And I think Atlanta is a good situation. They got a young quarterback, they got a young running back, they got a young, really good defense. And I mean, not for nothing, it is what it is, Jimmy. Don't be offended. They're in a division that's not that hard.
We should have won the damn division. I mean, so I agree with you, right? But you know what, though? When you look at him, he was in Cleveland for the Deshaun Watson, disaster, debacle. So there's been issues in Cleveland. Even he did have like an 11-6 season one year, but he's had issues since he was there. So you know what? I'm hype, and like I said, I'm psyched we got Ulbrich, that we kept him as a DC, right?
Well, but you get that continuity that you need with your team, right? With your defense. And you sprinkle in some of the offense and what he can do. And I think, you got something to work with. So, we talked about Harbaugh. Harbaugh goes to the Giants. There's this rumor of power struggle and a hierarchy or whatever it's going to be. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, how much of that is true. And, he denies it and this and that. Then you get, the Bills fire their coach unexpectedly, 8 straight playoffs, which I said was going to happen because
wait a minute,
you couldn't continue down that path.
Not unexpectedly, because if you listen to the Cowboys Cave on a weekly basis, we called this 2 weeks ago and last week. We said if they lose, he's out. So don't listen to the imbeciles on ESPN and those other channels. We got the real news here. We predicted it.
They're all acting like it was a big surprise. I mean, we weren't surprised.
No,
we weren't surprised.
No, I yawned when I saw that.
So now I think when you do this, does this put a lot of pressure on Josh Allen? Because now it's like, hey, he probably got fired because you guys couldn't get it done. Now, I don't put the whole thing on Allen, but I'm just saying, like, the core of the team and the next coach they bring in, if this doesn't work, it's like, well, maybe it's the quarterback, maybe he's going to get it. So
but
it's new head coach. Yeah, they got a new stadium, so they're getting them new vibes going. The Packers defensive coordinator goes to Miami, which that kind of, I don't know, it just kind of surprised me a little bit. I thought Miami was going to try and go for more of a home run, play, but maybe not.
Well, but you know what? And Steve, I'll get to yours in a second. This thing with Josh Allen, and I said this a couple times throughout the season, and I got laughed at in the comments section for saying it, but I was proven right this past weekend. Josh Allen, previously in prior seasons, he made some poor choices and immature mistakes. You know what? He picked the wrong game to do it. He remember that one play he's running, holding the ball out, ends up fumbling it, giving it right back and to the Broncos, and they end up scoring immediately. So it was a 10-point swing, just like that at the end of the half, right?
Yeah.
So he just made some poor decisions. Now he is the team. He is that team. And I think, you know what, maybe he needs a new coach. I don't know. But I will say, and I know you're going to break my chops for it, that was poor officiating. You're going to call those pass interferences. Why didn't you call the one when I forget which receiver for the Bills in the end zone, and one of the DBs was clutching him? That was PI, easy PI call, and I thought it was a catch. I thought that one that ruled interception was a catch. My opinion,
do?
Yeah, yep. And there's a lot of NFL, retired players on social media who agree.
Yeah,
but Cooks,
I mean,
thank you, Rick. Cooks, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was an interception. I don't think he ever had it, especially when it went down, just from the videos I saw. But I think it was one of those plays where if they ruled it a catch, it was going to stay a catch. If they ruled it an interception, it was going to stay an interception. Yeah, and I mean, you could. We did a show Sunday, and we kind of just talked about this for a long time. Josh Allen gets a pass. He's reckless with the football.
Yes.
He's reckless, and that fumble, holding the ball up like a loaf of bread,
dude. Like, what are you doing?
Half, that was a killer.
I mean, it was almost like he was serving a volleyball, right? He swung it out this way. I'm like, what? I thought I was seeing things. Like, What are you doing? You have to tuck that ball in. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And again, it's just reckless. It's just, and you can't be right. And Dez did catch it. Thank you for confirming. I'll be like 80 years old. So, Dez did catch it.
Yeah, you know what? Well, we got to stick up for our team,
That's the way it is.
But at the end of the day, and I was talking to a really good friend of mine who's a Bills fan, and he said, you know what? When Josh Allen was crying on the podium, he said, coach is gone. They're not going to let Josh Allen be the fall guy in Buffalo.
No.
It just ain't happening. But you know what? He screwed up. He had his year. We talked about it. There was no Mahomes in the way, no Brady in the way. It should have been. Look, I sat here last week and for the last 3 or 4 weeks saying Bills 49ers. I'm shocked the 49ers got their asses kicked all up and down from the friggin' opening kickoff. And the Bills, they didn't look good. And that's Josh Allen had to take a lot of the heat for that.
No, that was good. That was good. Hey, Jimmy, I got a phone call. Could you run this real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, all right. So look, we got important things. Mike Tag's got to take phone calls. So anyway, but that's my opinion. Look, at the end of the day, even if the Bills win, it would have been a sloppy win, but it would have been a win on the road, huge in Denver. Didn't happen. You knew the coach was going to get it. Now I heard, and I'll bring this up when Mike Tag comes back on, and kind of a rumor. I saw it online. What happens if Bill Belichick ends up in Buffalo, going full circle back to the AFC East? I heard about that today, and I wouldn't be surprised. Do they go for old school? I wouldn't want Bill Belichick. When the Falcons were hiring, when we hired Coach Morris, I wanted no part. I wanted no part of that, and I still wouldn't today. I think you go for the younger talent, the younger coaches. I think Belichick comes with too much baggage. Let's see. So Garland, here they're going to bring in the old offensive coordinator who was the head coach of the Giants back to the Bills. Oh, yeah. Who was that? Who was it? Dable? I forget who that was. Bills would have won that game. You know what? And I agree with you. That was a 10-point swing because they ended up getting a long field goal out of it at the end. And he, like I said, he is the team. And at the end of the day, too, are they going to lose their running back? I think Cook is a free agent. So, he's going to lose his running back. Rick thought it was Joe Brady or Brian Dable. Yeah, Dable. Thanks, Doug. So I don't know. I wouldn't want Belichick, but I did hear that rumor today. Let's see if it happens. Mike, I was talking about
I'm sorry about that. Emergency.
No, it's okay.
Family emergency.
No, it's all good. So we were talking, I heard a rumor about Belichick maybe going to Buffalo.
Really? So you're up there. You're up there. It ain't working out in Carolina, that's for sure. So it wouldn't surprise me. And I think Buffalo would be intrigued by that. I think Doug talked about a new stadium.
They got the new stadium. With my tax dollars. With my tax dollars, they got a new stadium. So, okay. So Chris Warden just saw the Green Bay cut Diggs. In my opinion, this has to be the biggest fall off from the Cowboys All-Pro since Marion Barber.
Yeah, I mean, but I'd say, and I appreciate the super chat, and Marion Barber, at least, he went to Chicago and played productive, for a little bit. But yeah, this is disappointing. It's sad in a way. I was a Diggs fan, but it just got kind of weird like the last year, especially this last year.
Yeah.
And it's just disappointing that it has to end that way. But, that's the way it is. Like these guys, you get a couple injuries and you're not the same. And when you get injuries and you're a skilled player and it's in your knees and and you're cutting and you're doing all of that, it makes it hard. That's why I say these guys got to make the money when they can make it. And I know the Cowboys lost out on this deal, I think, but I think they got out of it okay, the way the money was set up, but they definitely didn't get the return on investment for the years, a couple years after that contract. That's for sure.
So the Bills, James Cook, isn't he a free agent? I think he's on the market. So they're probably going to lose a running back.
No, you don't think they'll keep him? You think
they'll try, but I think he was pissy before the season started. And now with a new coach coming in, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. So Cuts is saying, was it Belushi, Chris Farley?
No, it was the guy that he was in a few movies. He was in the Adam Sandler like movies too. It was
Rob Schneider.
Not Rob Schneider. He always, but damn, if my brother was watching, he knows what I'm talking about. He was in Dirty Work with Artie Lang. He was in Dirty Work with Artie Lang.
That I don't remember.
Oh.
Artie Lang. Talking about that.
Norm Macdonald. Thank you.
Norm Macdonald. Yes.
Norm
Yeah,
Macdonald.
he was in Billy Madison when he.
He was in Billy Madison.
He's spraying the kid with the hose. And,
Yeah.
What did I do? I didn't do that.
You ever watch him? He does Smoking the Bandit. He does the Bandit, whatever his name is.
He does.
And he has
Reynolds?
the hat. And
Really?
he had the hat, Burt Reynolds, and he does the hat. He goes, "I got a funny hat. It's a funny hat." You know, they're doing Jeopardy, and it had the what's his name? God, I'm terrible at names. I forget all these damn things. But
we're getting old, man. We're getting old.
I know. That's how I can't remember shit anymore. I get so aggravated.
Neither can I.
I get so aggravated. But it's interesting, like these coaches, and then you look at, you know, just going to the coordinators, and we'll wrap it up with what Dallas is looking at in this defensive search. And they've interviewed like 9, 10, 11 guys. Seems like they got their eye on Jim Leonard. He's the assistant head coach for the Broncos. He's their defensive passing coordinator. They've interviewed a lot of secondary coaches, position coaches. They've interviewed defensive coordinators. The thing I would say, and I give Cowboys credit, is they have cast a wide net. They are looking high and low, but they're not going back to the well, at least so far. Now, let's see who they hire. If they go out and they get a guy who's on the Cowboys staff all these years or something like that, then I guess I'm proven wrong. But I like what they're doing, and I would like them to get, if you're not going to get a Schwartz, this proven guy that's a DC, I'd like a young guy that's highly sought after, that Denver Broncos and Sean Payton named him the assistant head coach, not just a position coach or DC. I mean, he's just under Sean Payton. He was a DC at Wisconsin. He played with Schott, played the year Schott was at the Jets. He was a safety. I mean, I would be good with it. What's making him stand out? Don't know anything about him.
Well, I think it's what Mike Tag just said. No, but I think it's what you just said. They thought enough of him to make him the assistant head coach.
Not the assistant to the assistant head coach.
Exactly.
It's the assistant head coach. But I think they just think a lot of him. And again, you're going to get a little bit of an unknown. You're going to get a little bit of an unknown. Over and under on Twitter responses to whoever the Cowboys hire. It's going to be negative. Over 65% will be negative. Thank you, Steve. No matter what they do, they're going to get shit for it. They can go hire Bill Belichick as a defensive coordinator, and they'll get shit for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know, because people like to bitch, right?
Everybody's an expert. Everybody's an expert. Like, all these guys are all experts. They're all fucking, I'm an expert. You know, this guy has been in the league, and I don't know if he's going to be the guy, but I got to put some faith that this is going to be. That's like I told my son is I don't know. I should have said this when Uncle Cheech was on, but it's that old adage the old landlords used to do. And sometimes I think the Joneses are like that. You promise them everything. You promise the fans everything, and you give them nothing. And, it's the off season. So they get our hopes up. They got us feeling pretty good. And yeah, I heard Jones, they were pretty high on too. And then they end up doing nothing in free agency. We're right back where we started. And then it's like, God dang it. Here we go again. And this, Jimmy, you've seen it what you got. Look at the NFL, look at the quarterbacks, and look at the teams in the NFL championship game. I mean, these aren't world beaters that have made it here. I mean, if you put together look at the commonality in mostly all of these teams. Seattle defense, Denver defense, Patriots have a good defense. The Rams have a good defense. Defense matters. You got to get guys. Look at the Miami Hurricanes. Defense matters. Indiana, defense matters. Look at all the teams that are in these championship moments. It's defense that leads the charge.
Well, and you know what? At the end of the day, you look at us, right? Our offense, despite all the weapons, Zach Robinson fucked up. We trusted him. Yeah. He was a horrible offensive coordinator. Look at what they did with Pitts late in the season, 8 weeks too late, right? But it was our defense that actually won a lot of those games. We never had a good defense.
They knew what they were getting into.
I say, let him crash. So,
but I mean, and you look at a lot of these, and that's, and then you look at the Eagles. Eagles are on the flip side. You got a defensive coordinator with Fangio. The offense has been the problem. So they're looking at Dayball. They're looking at McDaniel. I mean, and I don't want to see any of them go to Philly. Philly needs, you need that guy on your offensive coordinator. You got to these position coaches and coordinators matter. You just can't just go with your buddy.
The grits blitz.
Like Eberflus, and I was wrong. I thought Eberflus was going to bring, some stability to it. He had success in Indianapolis, but that guy was so damn stubborn. He wouldn't change nothing. And it's like, who was it? Bill Belichick. One of them said, or Nick Saban. He said, you got to change your philosophy. You got to cater your system to the personnel and talent that you have.
That's right.
You want them into the system, but you can't put a square peg in a round hole. I mean, you got to work with what you got, get the best out of them. That's what's coaching.
And Heineken, you know what? The Grits Blitz was when I was in elementary school. But when I was young, I was a Jets fan. I became a Falcons fan in '89 when Dion came aboard. So I know the Grits Blitz, but I was a kid and I wasn't.
What's the Grits Blitz?
It's in the Falcons defense in the late '70s, really good defense we had. See, defense and coaching. Defense coaching. Yeah. But yeah, Jerry Glanville, man,
he was in DC. I remember Glanville.
He was DC. Then he came back as the head coach later on.
Yeah.
Right. But, to your point, I want to take a step back. Of course, going into the offseason, we have big hopes for next year. And then, training camp, we're all hype. Because if you're not, then why bother?
Well, look at the teams in there. Why would you not? Tell me the team that you predicted that was going to be in that championship game. Did anyone think Denver was going to be there? Be honest with yourself. Anyone think New England? Anyone think Seattle? Tank was laughed at. We all laughed at him when he said that. The Rams, maybe the Rams, but that's it.
Yeah, maybe the Rams. Well, because they won. They won it. I mean, they're proven winners.
You got it. But the other three teams, you had no idea.
Right, exactly. Nobody would have called this, and everybody's on Green Bay's jock and Philly. Philly's a disaster. You're going to see AJ Brown. He's gone. Philly's a mess. They're not going to be 500 next year. Mark the tape. Philly won't be 500 next year.
Clip this. Go ahead,
please. So facts. Facts. Exactly, Doug. So clip that one.
No, we marked the tape, but yeah. So now, I mean, that's why, you tell people are, you're just being so optimistic. You need to, I said, you should be. I mean, it's the NFL. NFL landscape has changed. Football overall, look at college. Who the hell would have thought Indiana winning percentage in their histories ranked 125 out of 132 teams. They've been the doormats of college football forever. And they go in, they get a coach. They use the portal to their advantage. They very strategically get guys. And that's what they were able to do. And you build 2 years in a row, they've been in the playoffs and then they win the championship. It can happen. Philly has 25 free agents. I mean, AJ Brown, they got to figure out what they're going to do with him. I mean, his cap hit, if they get rid of him, it's like $70 million. They're not going to get rid of him.
And not only that, they got a circus with the coach and that big Dom character. And I love them because they're paisans, but I hate Philadelphia. And it's a circus. It's a circus there, right? But getting back to Indiana, I think when we were kids, Indiana, that was a basketball school. That wasn't no football school. So even 5-6 years ago, who would have thought?
Yeah, it's changed, Jimmy.
They change. Come like championship teams. Texas here.
Texas is going to be there, and they got the money. They got the money. It's all about the Jimmy, when did you think that you're going to see a quarterback? Miami's looking at quarterback now, and this kid Duke is trying to hold him and not release him and do all this shenanigans, which the court is going to end up getting involved and intervene, and they're going to pay him $6 million.
Yeah, even with Duke trying to pull the flim flam, they're going to get him, right? But that's the thing. But that's the nil, right? It is what it is, and it's just a whole new ball game. I don't know. You think there's going to be at some point some sort of reforms? I don't know how to put it, reforms or whatever with this NIL thing, because it's blown up fast in 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, we haven't seen it. We hadn't seen that. You probably will, though, Kelly. We're gonna
love
keep
her
it.
at six- I love that screen name.
You're probably gonna make one now. He's probably under something, man. What's up,
Exactly.
Kelly? Kelly. People are loving Kelly's Texas Tech. So I think they're gonna be a team to watch out for next year. I think it's with the NIL, it changes everything. It definitely. And then you think of all the shenanigans. So Mendoza's brother is the quarterback. He's a quarterback like backup or whatever at Indiana. The second the game is over, he gets into the portal and all of a sudden he's signed with Georgia Tech.
It's crazy.
Right? I mean, this stuff is all being done, in advance. I guarantee you, Miami and Duke have already worked something out. Or the quarterback from Duke, Messiah. I think they already worked something out, and he's going to end up coming into. That's just the way it is. I mean, these guys, like I said before, look at how much a ticket was to go to that college game. It was
crazy.
damn near $5,000.
More than the Super Bowl for some of them.
It was. They said it was.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So this has now become big business in the days of the Alabamas and the Ohio States and these guys running college football. Those days are over. I mean, you're gonna see, and I think it's good in a way. I think it's good for college football that you can get some of these other teams. It's not the same old boring, championship. The playoffs were exciting. I mean, I know Kelly, I apologize. They weren't exciting, for you guys, but they were every game. It was really good. And you saw different teams, but hey, Tech wasn't there for a while. Miami wasn't there for a while. Then you got Miami's a 10 seed, makes it all the way to the championship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think it's good for college football. And I think the NFL better watch out because college football is a more exciting game. You watch that championship game and go watch the Super Bowl. Look at the hits. Like my son and I were talking at dinner. The physicality of college football is much bigger to me than the NFL. And it just seems like these kids care more than the NFL for whatever reason. They're too young to realize it or whatever, but it is big games are better in college than they are in the pros. That's just being honest.
And Kelly, they tweeted, the dudes ain't committed to nothing but the dollars. But you know what? At first I wasn't for this NIL thing, but Mike Tag said it over and over. The shelf life of players is short. So you know what? In college, some of these guys might not make it off a rookie contract in the NFL. So I've kind of moved the other way. I'm okay with it. They got to cash in when they can. You know what I mean? So, and Kelly's saying, ouch, Mike.
I didn't mean that, Kelly. I apologize. I didn't mean, but I had to use Texas Tech as an example because they hadn't been there in a while. Miami too. I said Miami too. But I just think they want to mess with these players. I don't think you should expand it more than 16 teams, and I know we're getting off topic, but I just, I think I'd like the 12 teams. I think if you want to go to 16, that's about where I'd cap it. But then you got to kind of tweak the schedules a little bit. You can't have these kids playing 16, 17 games either.
Yeah, but you know what, too? And Garland, we'll get to you in just 1 second. At the end of the day, when you talk about the rankings and teams that make it in are on a vote sometimes. Yeah. You imagine they expand this out, how that vote looks, and how much more bitching and moaning from the fan base. But the one thing about college football, I agree, it's more exciting. It's invigorating.
Yeah.
Much more invigorating than the NFL.
Who's he talking about? The Georgia Bulldogs? Is that what he's talking about? Georgia Bulldogs. They wouldn't have beat half them teams in them playoffs. My man Patrick knows.
Where we at? Oh, Patrick.
They already got their ass whooped in the playoffs.
So do you think Cignetti might be going to the Raiders?
I don't think that dude will not. He's kind of a caricature. He makes the faces. My son wants to slap him. He calls him the college Nick Sirianni, but he's got his shtick, and I think he's a great coach. They won for a few. They won for a few of us.
Yeah.
Definitely took the line. Miami didn't. They hadn't lost by more than 6 points since Tyler Van Dyke was their quarterback or something like that. But I don't see his style, working in the NFL. That's just my opinion.
Rick is saying he publicly said no to the NFL.
Yeah, he would not make it in the NFL with the players, the NFL players of today. His style, dictatorship, and kind of that smirky and like being the center of attention, that kind of stuff. I don't think that would work well in the NFL.
No,
I don't think that would work well.
No, and I agree with you because some of the players and the local media wouldn't be having it.
No. So, but anyway. But no, we appreciate the love. I mean, this was it was a great weekend for sports. Ned Flanders. He does a little bit. That's a good point. He does. He is it. Look, he's a good coach, but I mean, you want to punch him if you're the opposing. You know what I mean? He just has that. He just has that arrogance that if he's on your side, you love it. But if he's not on your side, you just want to smack
him around a little bit.
Yeah. But hey, Kelly and I will be live on Thursday. We'll be getting this thing rolling. Where it's getting playoff time. We're gonna get all through that, get through the off season. Hopefully there'll be some Cowboy news. I wouldn't expect any DC news. I know some people are excited. I think they're eyeing Leonard, and Leonard has a game. He has a game coming up this weekend, so I don't think that anything like that is going to happen this week. But I think the Cowboys are still, unless someone woos them, which they could. I think we'll see what happens. But definitely appreciate all the love. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, share, all that kind of good stuff, and definitely appreciate it. And Jimmy, any final words from you? What did I miss?
No, I think we said it all and done it all.
Said it all and done it all. We don't need to say much more, except I forgot to do our exit, so I got to do that right quick.
No, it's okay.
Talking, but we are gonna, as we get to the off season, we are gonna work on some more interviews. I love doing the interviews. We'll get back into some of that. It'll be a great off season. So again, if you make sure you hit that thumbs up on the way out, hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel. Definitely appreciate all the love. We'll see you guys. Take care. All right. See you.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.